Welcome to Trial by Wine. We take a closer look at crimes that highlight how fascinating humans can be. Schmidty, Swanee and Clarkey visit crimes and run them through their jury of three, debating both sides of the case to agree an appropriate, if totally fictitious, sentence. Please be advised, Trial by Wine may include explicit or disturbing content and will include drunken rambling. Listener discretion is advised. All right, how are we?
Not too bad.
Good.
It's humid up here.
Oh,
Must be mid-20s and humid.
it's very warm here. I think we're in for the beginning of some hot
Hottie.
weather. Oh yeah, we've got a very hot week, but yeah, it's very nice today because it's enough for the weather chat, Carla.
I've also been feeling a little bit like I'm coming down with something for the better part of 3 days. So I've got that.
Ooh.
I'm getting a cold. I have to wear a jumper, but it's actually was a bit cold. And I even did a rat test today. I thought, I really am. There's something wrong. But it turns
Oh.
out it's probably bacterial because no
There
virus.
is something wrong
No.
with you if you're doing rat
I
tests.
did a rat test. I haven't done one for years. Yeah.
No,
I
but
haven't
the
been sick
thing
for
is,
years.
there's something wrong with you because you're doing the rat test, not
Oh,
you're doing the
You
rat test
think?
because you're not feeling well. Well, do you still do them? Does anyone still do?
someone in the office got COVID and then said, "Oh, I had COVID," and she's been off for 5 days. I'll tell you why I did it, because I had
Milking
a appointment with my surgeon, and I thought I don't want to have a disease an illness that
That's a
I
bit different.
shouldn't be spreading to someone who's
No.
going to
It's
operate on
It's a
people,
very good reason.
and that's why.
It's about the only reason, really, I think, these
Yeah,
days
I
that I
think
would
so. I
consider is
think
like
you've
going
nailed
to a
the response.
specialist or going to hospital. Are those two things that I would think I would be very uncomfortable if I had to answer and say, oh, yeah, I might have or whatever else. I'd prefer
Yeah.
no, not.
So
Well,
I'll
why
be
don't-
off work, my gainful employment, between May, June, and July, and then boys, remind me again, you're going August away, yeah?
Yeah,
The boys are going in August, so even though
end of August though. So
we're going to have to do some work while I'm laid up, but I'll make it all happen. It's all good. As in some trial by wine work.
How many years has it been since you had the other one done, darling?
3? No, 4. 2022 I had it done.
It's been a while. Isn't it time flown
It
while
was,
we're podcasting?
oh no.
I know.
That blows my mind when
Same.
someone found out the other day about the fact that I'd been doing this and they didn't know. Oh, my sister-in-law.
Right.
And she was kind of pissed off
Best kept
because she didn't
secret.
know. And when of course it worked out, and she was like, well, how often do you do it or whatever else? And how many episodes I went on? And I said 200 odd. She was like, what? And I was like, well, it's just something I like to.
It's just
keep to myself.
our enjoyable hobby. Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's like a hobby.
Yeah. It is a hobby because we don't earn any money
Yeah,
out of it.
there is.
It's definitely a hobby. Any news outside of that?
I've got one.
Yeah.
It's not really news. It's one of those Facebook things that
Yeah.
I like to.
I've seen a few
screenshot.
today, but yeah, what have you got?
I think you'll like it. So, a 90-year-old taxi driver from Malaga, Spain, rented a luxury yacht, wore fake gold chains, and posed as a billionaire to impress others.
Good
He
on him.
successfully fooled Instagram models and influencers with the illusion of extreme wealth, leading to intimate encounters before the truth emerged that he was an ordinary taxi driver living out a fantasy through clever staging and confidence.
Intimate encounters.
I like it.
I love it. I love it. He's out-scammed the Instagram scammers.
Yeah.
Mm.
He still had to pay for the boat, didn't he?
He was renting it, probably.
Yeah, it was-
different.
Renting it.
Exactly. Okay, he's not a
Living it-
millionaire, but he still bought the boat. I mean, paid for the boat. It's not like he stole it from
Yeah.
him.
Wouldn't be. No.
He's probably had a
It's not
great
his fault
mum.
that someone dropped their pants for him. What can he say? He's like, I'm 90
I
odd. I'm
mean-
going to die. I'm going to go out with this fantastic memory. Yeah.
Isn't creating the illusion of wealth what influencers do anyway?
I think it is.
Like it's all about that
Is
until it's
having
not.
sex with a 90-year-old man just because you think he's a millionaire not morally questionable?
I mean, that's on you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Correct.
If he
Yeah.
then turns out
That's what
to
he-
not be
whatever.
and
Not
don't
be,
want to
exactly.
have sex
That's
with
right.
him,
Yeah, great.
yep. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Good
I am
that.
too, actually.
You fucking idiot. I slept with a man who was really, really old because I thought he was rich, and then he wasn't. It's not fair.
I'm the victim here.
Yeah, that's
No, you're
right.
not.
I've gone from being a predator to trying to be a victim.
Correct, yes.
Oh, goodness.
I suppose we should introduce ourselves. I'm Schmidty.
Well, I'm Swanee, but because of the camera angle today, can everybody see my little co-host?
No, I can.
He's actually in the perfect. He's actually in the perfect on the microphone.
And he's been watching us.
Oh, now he's had enough. He's like, no, whatever.
But he was watching us.
No, he doesn't normally do that.
Little
Arthur
Arthur in
Don't
the back.
focus on me.
Yes, so I'm Swanee.
And I'm Clarky. And together we are
Trial by Wine.
And what are we drinking?
I'm on my first fridge ciggy, Coke Zero of the day.
Delicious.
Nice.
Clarky?
Well, we're on the soda
Oh!
stream, but it's got lemon and the last of the pink grapefruit gin.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's nice and refreshing on a humid evening. How about you?
Well, I was sort of inspired the other day by Swanee when she was talking about margaritas. And so when I was in Aldi, I happened to see that they had some pre-mixed cans of watermelon margarita. I'm not saying that was the best. That was all they had, right?
Yeah.
It's Jose Cuervo. But I whacked it in the binger.
Oh, it looks pretty.
Mm-hmm. So I made myself a little slushy with the Aldi binger. And so it's a frozen marg.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
It looks to have lost some of its shapes. Maybe.
It's not quite as.
It looks kind of.
It looked like a big pink turd when I first did it, but
it looks like you should be eating it with a spoon. It looks like an icy.
Yeah,
it
does look
like
that.
A bit dessert.
Yeah, but that's just the slushiness. But
okay.
And then I had to say to Tony, don't turn the machine off, because the last time I made a slushy and we were recording, I went up to get more and he'd turned the friggin' machine off. And he'd taken the...
This is not a bar.
Exactly. And he'd taken the contents of the machine and put it in a glass in the fridge. So it was like cold and thawing, melting.
Tony.
I was like, what is this? So I was just leave it, please. Just leave it.
Oh, yes, and happy anniversary for last week, lovers.
Thank you.
Did you have a nice time?
Yes, that's exciting.
That's our trial by wine wedding. Our first trial by wine. Our first only trial by wine wedding.
That's right. I took Tony out for our anniversary and we went to Squire's Loft, which I don't mind.
We have one of those here. It's like a South African steak restaurant.
I don't know if it's South African. It could be, but it's a steak restaurant.
So, well, we've got.
But I've got to say, the one in Sunbury, they do it remarkably good. I feel it. They've got this like...
Yeah, it's a steak restaurant, isn't it? It must be.
Yeah, it is.
Jeremy goes there for a bit, yeah.
Oh, I really liked their steak. So anyway, so we had dinner there and it was very nice. And I say I took Tony out because we've agreed that one or the other of us will do the alternate year. So last year it was his turn to give me a present or do something for me, and this year it's mine. Although he still bought me flowers, which was kind of,
Bloody hell, what kind of agreement is that, doll?
Oh,
fucking hell, no thanks. I thought you were going to say every week. I thought you were going to say you went out for dinner alternate weeks, and then you went and you were like, we're going to do this once. And I'm like, what?
Well,
more? No. You're newlyweds.
Yeah, okay, but Tony isn't
Trust
working,
me, by the time you get to
so
our point,
I'm just spending my money on him and then he's spending my money on me, right? So it's sort of pointless. So last year when he still had money, he bought me the other of the rings, of the chevron rings.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic. And I was like, lovely, beautiful. This year he gets a Squire's Loft dinner. So I think I'm getting the better end of the deal. It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah. Next year it's his turn, but...
How do you remember whose turn it is? Because that's what I would struggle with.
Odd and even years might work for them at this point.
Might be. Yeah. I'm even years.
Yeah.
But also, I did say that at some point I'll upgrade the jet ski for him. So when that happens, that's part.
What, you're going to put some lights on it or lower it? Or...
I'm going to buy a different one and sell the one that we have, because the one we have, there's nothing wrong with it except that was meant to be a 3-seater or it's meant to be a 2-seater, but it doesn't balance with 2 people on it, right? So you get on it and you immediately topple over and
you go.
And you're in the water, right? So we've tried it a few times. I have not got the dexterity to jump on it while it's moving so that it stays up.
You definitely need the 3-seater that goes along
like
sideways.
A 3-seater. That's right.
But I'm not sure it doesn't go that way. I'm joking.
No, it doesn't go that
facetious,
way.
like a love seat.
No, it doesn't go like a love seat. But it is a 3-seater, and really it's just balanced for the weight, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to upgrade it to a newer model, which is a 3-seater, and
Yeah.
that'll be part of a gift for
Oh,
Tone.
that's very generous of you. Very nice.
Oh, anyway.
He'll be surprised then now that you've announced it.
Oh, he knows all about it. It's all about timing. That might be 5 years down the line at this point in time.
Do you
I've got a
really
lot of
think he
other things
listens to
do.
this, Clarky?
Doesn't listen to a word of
No
it.
chance. We could say anything.
That was the
That's the
real
beauty of
joke
it. I mean,
behind what I
that's
said.
I mean, Stuart sits and listens to every episode, but
I
none of our
know.
other partners pay any attention
We
to
could
anything
literally
we
be
say.
putting like little, what do you call them? Oh, what's the name? Easter eggs, or they call it, little
Yeah.
things through every episode. No one would ever know. And
No.
then one day they'll go back and go, they told us all. They've been telling us all along.
Well, I don't know about that because there are some people who do message me and I think, what are they talking about? And yeah, they're talking about the podcast, right? So there are some out there who are in the know. Yes, that's right, Andrew. I'm metaphorically winking at you right now. But most people know. Well,
I think I've had 2 messages.
I think one day people might listen to us. We might get a listener.
The back catalogue, they'll be like, oh my God, you know what they used to do? Their original stuff.
Yes. So, look at these guys. They've got so much that we can listen to, right? And so they'll get
they're
on
ahead
to
of
us.
their time.
And our numbers will go up. And we'll have by then, be dead. So, we'll be like, oh, great. Posthumously successful.
Yes, for sure.
Anyway. Right. I've completely lost where I'm at. Oh, yeah, we've done the drinking. Okay. Shall I tell us a little story?
I would love that.
Please do.
All right. So my sources for today's story are theguardian.co.uk, I think, judiciary.uk, lindsay's.co.uk, bbc.com, and thedailymail.co.uk.
Minor clues,
So,
geographical clues, I'm
might
guessing.
be an English story. That's right.
Cool.
Yes. Now, as you both know, or all 3 of you know, Mum and Dad's estate completed fairly recently, and it made me think about inheritance crimes. We've done plenty of insurance-related crimes where someone's murdered by the insurance recipient or person hoping to be the insurance recipient until they work out that they've knocked someone off for the money that they've just, put on them. But I thought I'd go looking for something a bit different. And lo and behold, I found this one. Now, this is quite a recent story, as it turns out. The year was 2024.
Oh.
It was a cold January morning in Newcastle, and as you rightfully pointed out, Clarky, that's the UK Newcastle, not the Australian one.
On time.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it would be Newcastle on Tyne, yes. When Patrick O'Hara, a retired engineer in his 70s, prepared for a routine home visit from the NHS for a COVID-19 booster. Patrick had received an official NHS letter explaining that he was eligible for a home visit, and since that didn't seem like a particularly strange thing, particularly given Patrick's age, he thought that's a great idea. So when the doorbell rang, he opened the door and he welcomed in the NHS health worker.
Ooh.
Now, the fellow that he let into the house was wearing a mask, a face mask, as in a COVID mask, and scrubs, and was carrying paperwork. He introduced himself as a nurse, and everything about him suggested that he probably was. After the pandemic, and even now, it's not unusual for people to still wear masks in medical settings, and a door-to-door nurse probably thought it was a good idea.
Oh, can I interject just for a second?
Of course, you may.
Because I agree with that, but I get really frustrated when there's people driving in a car by themselves wearing a mask.
Do you? I don't see that.
What are you
on
doing?
Occasion, recently I saw a woman do it. I'm like, then it really perplexes me, and I want to ask questions.
Yeah,
Why?
Whatever you're doing, it's not working.
I always thought the point of the mask was to stop you spreading your germs to other people.
Of course. What if you're in your car?
Sure, but if you're in a car by yourself,
I realise
I've
that
seen.
it's not working.
Yeah, I realise that, yeah. Again, why is the nurse wearing a mask, though? If they're ill, they shouldn't be at work, so why are they wearing a mask? But anyway, so this nurse gets straight to business and Patrick rolls up his sleeve. He obviously didn't have an issue with getting the vaccine, but it did make me think about the good old days of conspiracy about the virus and the vaccine, and I thought I'd take us down memory lane for a moment. Google AI reminded me of these theories. Common COVID-19 vaccination conspiracies include microchips for tracking and control, A widely circulated theory claimed that potential vaccines would involve implanting digital microchips into people for tracking or control by entities such as governments or Bill Gates. This claim is false. I like the way also that Google, and you might even have your own theory about Google being somehow influenced by Bill Gates, but Google, likes to tell us which is true and what's false. DNA alteration. Another prevalent theory falsely suggested that the mRNA vaccines were designed to alter human DNA or genetic information to create genetically modified organisms. This is false. None of the authorised vaccines can or are designed to change a person's DNA. Infertility. Rumours suggested that COVID-19 vaccines could cause infertility or harm pregnant and breastfeeding women. Health authorities have found no evidence of a link between vaccines and infertility. Population control. Some theories propose that the virus or the vaccine was intentionally created as a biological weapon to reduce the world's population. Hidden dangers and side effects. Claims circulated that pharmaceutical companies or the government were covering up serious side effects or death links, or that the rapid development meant they were unsafe, while vaccines have common mild side effects, e.g., importantly, pain at the injection site, fatigue, fever, and extremely rare severe adverse events are monitored. The claims of widespread hidden dangers are also false. The virus or vaccine for profit. Theories posited that the pharmaceutical industry, aka Big Pharma, or other powerful groups created the virus or vaccine solely for financial gain or political motives. These beliefs are more common among individuals with lower levels of education.
It's a nice way of saying it.
Lower trust in scientific and health institutions. And those who rely heavily on social media for news. Official sources like the World Health Organization and the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention provide fact-based information to counter such misinformation. And
fact-based.
Absolutely. Don't get upset with me on the wording there. That was all Google AI, which is obviously paid by Big Pharma. But I digress.
Obviously. Not by little schooling.
No, that's right. Big Pharma. So Patrick rolls up his sleeve and the nurse gives him the jab. And then the nurse packs up his shit and he leaves, presumably onto his next appointment. Soon after the injection, pain began. Now, you heard me before talk about the local site, where you get pain at the local site. And at first it sounded a bit like my second shot from memory. It hurt like buggery. Well, so I'm told. Soreness. It was very sore at the site. And this is for Patrick. But then it intensified further. The pain was immense. And then swelling in the arm escalated. Blisters appeared. And the skin around the injection site started to rot.
Over what
Yes.
time are we talking
What?
about? How quickly was this? Like over a couple of days?
Great question.
Overnight?
I think a day, possibly.
Okay.
I mean, I
so not
think
immediately, but
it was immediately painful.
Yeah.
But I think that and the reason I say the blistering and the rotting and that was a little bit later was because of what it was.
Right.
So
you
that
don't
certainly
want that.
was not my
Not
experience
really?
with Pfizer jab. I didn't have that. I did have a very sore arm and I had a bit of my lymphatic node in my armpit swelled up on one of them. But they did warn me that might happen, so I wasn't too worried. Anyway.
That's a thing, yeah.
It might be, though, that this has happened because poor Patrick had not actually been injected by any of the known COVID-19 vaccines. Not Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca or Novavax. No, he had something quite different coursing through his veins. It was
What was it?
iodomethane.
Oh, what?
So can I just ask a question? How was this identified at this point when he's gone into hospital?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So in Patrick's
I noticed
case...
the yellow colour, the colour of it.
No, I think they
coursing
must
through
have done...
his veins.
Well, we'll get there. In Patrick's case, the dose and administration caused a severe infection, otherwise known as necrotizing fasciitis.
Oh.
And this can
not
happen with some
that.
snake bites, but not, contrary to popular belief, the bite of a white-tailed spider, which is lucky, as I was bitten by one. Luckily, my arm did not rot and fall off.
Oh.
So Patrick was rushed to hospital, to your question, Swanee,
Yep.
and the surgeons had to debride his arm.
Ew.
A less clinical description
What does that
is
mean?
They had to cut away the dead and infected tissue to stop it spreading.
They do that have like a burn, I think, as well. Like it's that. It
They
must
do
be
it for
great, like, getting rid
infection.
of the
They
skin, is it?
debrided when Kipling was sick with his
Oh.
injury. He had a bacterial infection, and they had to debride that. So they cut away so that you're left with the healthy stuff. Yeah.
Why is
Anyway.
it so? Why is debride sound like you're getting rid of your wife?
Wife? I don't know, but there you go. It's
Yeah,
the
gosh.
vagaries of the English language. Hey,
yeah. There's surely
I'm going to
no
cut that
connection.
pustule off. I'm going to debride
cut
it.
that rotting flesh off your arm.
Yeah, charming, isn't it? So poor old Patrick had a long road to recovery, and it was extremely painful, and it was very nasty. And he had multiple procedures because after they debrided him, of course, he would have had to have skin grafts and, been left with quite a lot of scarring. It was really nasty, but he did survive because it could have been fatal. So what was that all about? I hear
Who
you
came
ask.
and did it? Who was the person? Who was the guy
Who
who
was
pretended he was
the
from the
nurse
NHS?
that wasn't the nurse?
Who does that?
Was his
Well,
son?
Close, but not his
Oh!
son. In a nutshell, the injection was the culmination of years and years of resentment brought about by the threat of reduced inheritance.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is clever.
to a degree. And
Well,
at the same time.
sending the letter in that environment, most people would fall for it. Send the letter in
of
doing the
course.
course. Someone come with a
Yes.
mask. I'm not going to ask. Oh my God!
Absolutely, I'm going to roll up my sleeve and let you inject me.
But inject me. I mean, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
And yet, really, actually, quite simple.
It's quite ingenious.
Correct.
But there are other elements of the way this took
yes,
place that were really stupid,
Do tell.
which is kind of funny. But, anyway. Let us go back in the timey-wimey machine to the 1970s when a woman named Jenny Leung married. Now, I can't find much about her, but I think she married in Hong Kong to a Chinese national, and they had some kids, and later they moved to the UK. Basically, they had a bit of money to start with anyway. They weren't poor, and then through the course of their marriage, they got richer and richer. So she and her husband were quite wealthy, and she divorced him in the 90s, and at that time, she took £1 million out of their account. So as I say, they had quite a lot of money, and in the 90s, £1 million was a lot. Yeah,
That's a
Sitting in
lot.
the accounts, pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's right. Many money.
Yes. So then Jenny met and has a long-standing relationship with Patrick O'Hara, the man who unfortunately did not have the COVID-19 booster. One of her children, Thomas, decided that he was her favourite child, and he took real issue with what his mum was doing with her money. Sorry, his inheritance as far as he was concerned. He sent her multiple letters over the course of time telling her what he thought, and here's an excerpt of one. You say that I am selfish or greedy, but I would like you to make me the sole executor of your will.
He obviously hasn't read a book on how to, make friends and influence people, how to negotiate.
No.
Straight in there.
No.
You
I've
think
upset you,
I'm
but
more
you're gonna do
selfish
it.
and greedy. Let me confirm that.
But I would like you to make me the sole executive of your will, as well as giving me the most and largest proportion of the properties and inheritance.
Selfish and greedy.
Yes, and then he goes on and says, you have told me many times that I'm the one you love the most out of all your children. Obviously, her loving him the most didn't equate to the same as her giving him the most. Anyway, so Thomas wasn't that happy about his mum taking £1 million from his father, because I think that equated for him that he was sort of being robbed from his father's estate as well, because she'd taken the money. Yeah. And I've no idea what his father thought about it, but I'll assume that he actually agreed it with Jenny, because I don't believe that there was any kind of chasing down this $1 million, quid and suggesting that she nicked it or anything. It was probably part of a divorce settlement, or at least some settlement between them. Thomas, though, was more annoyed in 2021 when his mum changed her will so that if she died before Patrick, Pat could stay in the house till he died, and then it would go to her kids. So, and they'd been together for 20 years at this point.
Oh, God.
So she's not even saying, I'll leave the house to Patrick. No, she's just saying, let Patrick have a home until such a time as he dies, and then you kids can do what you want. which I think is utterly fair and reasonable. But Thomas did not.
No.
Completely pissed him right off, as he figured he shouldn't have to wait any longer to get the bucks once his mum died. Now, I've seen his mother. I've seen a photo of her, and she looks bloody good for her age. So I don't think she's going anywhere fast. But Thomas isn't the most rational or sane, in my humble opinion, person in the story.
He's the most selfish and greedy, but not the most rational and sane.
But, I mean, let's be fair. What is Thomas's situation that he's so worried about money?
Yeah.
Is he debt-ridden? Living on the breadline somewhere? Homeless?
He's already wealthy, isn't he?
Entirely.
Oh, yeah. No, he's a successful GP who has a fancy house in Teesside. And at the time this all kicked off, he'd just made a £2 million offer on a house down south. He had plenty of cash.
Wow.
Plenty of money.
Wow.
Yep.
He knows he's greedy.
It would
That's why he's telling
seem
you.
Proudly greedy.
that Thomas had a rather overdeveloped sense of entitlement.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, perhaps because he thought he was the favourite, or he's just a bit odd, when his father passed away, he felt snubbed after not getting as much as he expected in his father's will. So he forged solicitors'
bugger.
letters and
Gosh.
threatened his siblings to get what he saw as his rightful inheritance. So he's got form.
And had that had happened and everyone knew about that in the moment. It
Yeah.
wasn't something that came out as a result of this. That was
Correct.
known.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that
He's
was
a mean
known.
bean.
Oh, he's a twat, yeah. I do want to point out that at the time of the injection, and I believe to this day, his mother is alive.
Okay.
I felt this is an important piece of information because this man is obsessing about an inheritance, and he's attacking Patrick
To get ahead of the game.
to get
get
ahead of the
Patrick's out
game.
it. Yeah.
I mean,
need
He
him
learned
out
to
from
your
his
point earlier,
fathers
there's a lot of
that
planning
he has to
on
do
here.
it
Yeah.
before they die, not after.
Don't get in early.
Must
It's
have
hard
been,
to
must have
change a
been.
will after they're dead.
Well, also, he felt that if Patrick was out of the picture, his relationship with his mother was improved because he was a little bit estranged, probably because he kept sending her letters demanding her inheritance, her money.
And that he was selfish and greedy.
Yes, that's right. And of course,
Endearing traits.
Kids doing that. Ugh.
this way he felt that he'd get the lion's share of the inheritance. And by the way, an inheritance he was going to get anyway. He just needed to be patient and not chuck a 72-year-old man out of the house that he was living in. Yeah.
Yeah.
The police always look at family and friends, as we know, first. And it was a little bit suspicious that Patrick had received an NHS letterhead and format letter, and the person who showed up seemed to know what they were doing.
That makes sense. Right.
And I can't imagine it was too much of a stretch to link Jenny's GP son with the CCTV footage of the masked injector.
Swanee, can I just ask, now that you know he's a doctor, do you think his
Yes.
strategies is clever or is it incriminating?
Yes,
'Cause I feel
that's
like
a valid point. Yeah.
If any of us came up with that independently of being in the medical profession, I think it would
would
be
be
very
easier to
clever.
hide.
But
Yeah.
I feel like
No,
if
it wouldn't be
you're-
because we would need help. We wouldn't have access to, equipment and needles and vaccines and things.
It's
That's
really
what I'm
easy
saying,
to
it'd be
get all
very
that. I
clever.
can buy them on
Oh.
Amazon.
But for him, it's just incriminating now
I
because
get a pair of
he's.
scrubs at Payless.
Yeah, I suppose because he is a GP. Yeah. What if Patrick had just passed and hadn't made his way to the hospital and whatever else? Would there have been a inquiry
Of course,
given
there'd be
what was going with COVID and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. There would
Yeah.
have been some kind of coronial inquiry. Oh yeah, they would have done a
Well, that happened
autopsy.
because he was. But do you reckon? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because
remember,
straight after having had
having just I don't
Because
know
his
in Australia,
arm would
but
have eaten itself off.
same. Well, no, I think the idea was it was meant to kill him immediately, not that he was going to die from
Yeah.
necrotic. What would I say? Necrotizing fasciitis.
Is he a shit doctor
Yeah,
as
that's
well?
what he said.
No, I think he's an okay doctor, but I'll get on to it. But I think he thought it was going to kill him. But
I assume so. Not
I was just going to say
necessarily immediately, but,
when we had a death in the family recently, the person in question that there was an autopsy there to determine.
Okay.
You can't just die and everyone goes,
Okay.
oh well, they've just died. Like they generally will do an
Okay.
autopsy to determine cause of death.
Okay.
Not that they think that there's foul play or anything, but they want to know why a person died.
Okay.
Now, so they analysed the gait and the height of the person who attended the property, and they also looked into digital records of Thomas. It turns out Thomas had been setting up bogus companies to buy chemicals. Back at his expensive Teesside house, he had a load of poisons in his garage, including ricin.
Oh, that takes me back to September 11. After that, yeah.
Yep. Oh, now, he also... I will show
He
you...
liked to have options, did he?
I'm going to show you a photo of this in a moment for your viewing pleasure. He created a disguise. So obviously he went and he was actually wearing... I think he was wearing a wig as well as the mask and what have you.
All right.
And he made a little ID card for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And his alter ego was called Raj Patel. And
no.
when he made its name is Thomas Kwan and he's Chinese. So when he made his ID, he made sure to tan his face up a bit as well.
He didn't.
He did.
Isn't that cultural misappropriation?
Absolutely. Well,
Yes.
he had to become Raj Patel. Whilst his disguise and alter ego, Raj Patel, might have fooled Patrick initially, it didn't take long for the police to narrow the suspect pool to pretty much just Thomas. And I believe Jenny might have actually said, he was about the same height as my son, the doctor. Yes. So I think she actually might have not said that she I don't think she actually thought it was him, but it didn't take the
No, but that's
what a
perfect.
coincidence.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Now, as amusing as it is for us, can you imagine the betrayal Patrick and Jenny must have felt knowing the person who caused catastrophic damage to you was effectively your stepson and for nothing, So they've known this guy since the 90s. So he was 53 when this took place. And Patrick, when you spend 20 years in a person who's in your family, as much as it sounds like he was problematic, there's still something incredibly invasive about that. It's bad enough to be attacked by a stranger, let alone someone like the caller's coming from in the house kind of thing. So Thomas was charged with attempted murder and was tried. And he changed his initial plea to guilty, which I believe basically meant he had to have another trial, so we mistrialed the first one. And it's just as well because he also said that he'd had a second murder plot which involved red wine and thallium. So there's that.
Oh.
God.
In sentencing remarks, the judge described the crime as chilling and calculated. The disguise, the forged NHS materials, and the breach of medical ethics aggravated the seriousness. The court heard details of planning, research into toxins, consideration of method, preparation of disguise, which is, I'll get to it in a second, I'll show it to you. And the thing about the preparation of the disguise that got me is, and I'm about to share, but I think he must have had to work quite hard to find a coconut shell big enough to fit his head.
Is this a wig? Like a toupee?
Like a Lego person.
It is a wig.
I went full face.
Oh, goodness.
How good's that?
Oh.
That's Raj Patel. For our listeners, he's wearing a very bad wig that does look like half a coconut shell on his head.
It does.
Yeah. A pair of glasses and a very obviously stuck-on moustache and beard.
Long and straight, isn't it?
Goatee,
Yeah, but it's also very thin, and you can actually see the webbing of where it's been stuck to his face. Because at first I thought,
Can you?
Can you see? I don't know.
On the
see what
bottom
I mean?
one, I think I can. On the
see,
side. Oh, yeah, I can actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it wasn't a little ID picture, right? So you just glance at that, you wouldn't necessarily see it.
Yeah.
To be honest, I looked at that and thought, you could have done better.
Do you think he bothered to have the moustache and all that on underneath the mask on the day that he went to do the work?
I don't think so.
Oh!
I have seen the little bit of the footage because they've got.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out how to stop sharing. I've seen a bit of the footage that they have of him travelling up the stairs at Patrick O'Hara's, etc. And I think he's just got the mask on at that point. This was all about the ruse of the. There we go.
At the risk of sounding racist, I don't think he nailed the eyes.
I felt that his disguise was pretty racist, so I'm not too bothered if you're going to be mean to him. All right, so the attack was not spontaneous anger. It was methodical. He'd been planning it for years. He'd been researching poisons.
Years?
Yeah, for years.
Ooh.
Buying thallium, creating fictitious companies and plotting. Like that whole thing about the thallium, that actually had happened months before he tried this one.
Yeah.
Of course, that's when he wasn't serving his community as an all-round good guy GP. Yeah. Victim impact statements describe the physical and psychological toll, which predominantly around Patrick, who endured surgeries, extended hospitalizations, and lasting trauma. And of course, knowing that the person who did this to him was his effectively stepson, made it even worse. Yeah. In November 2024, Thomas was sentenced to more than 31 years in prison, one of the most severe sentences for attempted murder in recent UK history. And, of course, the length reflected premeditation and abuse of professional status. And there was a big thing about, being a GP and your whole career is around looking after people. That's right. And they're also utilising, like, the NHS letterhead and all the rest. It really, when you think about it, I mean, I sort of made light of the conspiracy theories at the start of the story, but when you think about how people did build a distrust of vaccines and the government, and the NHS was put under so much pressure to have someone utilise NHS resources like the letterhead, etc., to do something so nefarious. It's a real reputation problem, So you can understand why they cracked down on that with such a severe sentence, in my opinion. And yes, also a bit racist, poor old Raj Patel. Now, the thing about our mate is that he's in jail, and from what I've read, he hasn't got any remorse. He still sees himself as some kind of a victim.
He probably particularly feels hard done by now that he's, in that predicament.
Well, absolutely. And he was married and he has a child, and he actually was recorded talking to his wife on the phone from prison, complaining about how Patrick's going to get compensation because of victim compensation. And he said something along the lines of, 3 young lives ruined and he gets a payout. I mean, can you believe it? He's so upset by that. So
he's weird.
He is weird, I think. And he does have this incredible sense of entitlement. Yeah.
Selfish and greedy.
For something that isn't even on the table. Keep it up, mate. She'll cut you out of your inheritance entirely,
Hasn't she done it yet?
I'm sure she has. I'm sure she has. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just I found it an extraordinary story. And that is the story of Thomas Kwan, the murdering or attempted murdering.
The murdering racist.
GP. Yeah. Just unbelievable. What do you think?
You freaked me out the way you were telling it at the beginning with, it's such a trusted, if someone said,
absolutely,
I don't know who would be here, but that if the NHS sent you a letter, certainly as an older person, we're coming to you, it would make sense to me. I think that cover makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That it's a great lead in. And I mean, obviously I knew something was going to go wrong, but then I'm sitting there thinking, oh dear God, letting someone inject you with something and really trusting them to do that, it's a big ask, actually.
Yeah.
We never think about it. We just, you have to trust people in these situations.
Yeah, you've got the training and you're doing the right thing, and you'd never try to hurt me intentionally.
No, so I certainly understand the NHS being
angry about that. Yeah.
Mortified that this has been done kind of in their name. How dreadful.
Isn't it awful? Yeah. There was something I was going to say. All right, keep going. It might come back to me.
I think that whole thing I find very unsettling, actually, because I can see very easily, and how it would happen. Certainly thinking of my parents and stuff. Yeah, I get it.
Oh, totally right. I mean, it's the same way that the Dr. Death, like, shipment type thing happens, which we haven't covered yet. But, but mind you, he knocked off people who had a cold, like he was trusted, and that's pretty much how that happened. But
yes,
what I was going to add to it was I read, I think it was his defence, someone in the case was talking about, because it to the point you made earlier about that was really clever, right? It seemed really clever to set it up that way. You're going to be trusted. It looked like I think he thought it was an allergic reaction. I think initially he sort of said, it's just an allergic reaction. Don't worry about it. Give it 24 hours. And if it's still bothering you, go see someone, right? And then he left, kind of thing. And so that gives you the 24 hours to wait while it takes effect, right? So,
yep.
That's when you asked me about how quickly did it happen. And I said a little bit of time, because
it was an infection that set in. It basically breaks down muscles, I think, is what I read. Anywho, someone was saying how when you look at it, it does look like it's a really clever crime, but actually it's really dumb. So, like having all of the chemicals in his garage and his Teesside home for one thing, and the fact that he'd signalled so many times to his mother about money and about being a favourite, and you need to give it
so
to
that
me.
pretty obvious. Yeah.
And how angry, and the fact that they were estranged because he was so angry with her for making decisions about her money, and who was going to benefit from it, etc. So it didn't take much, I don't think, for them to very quickly
I agree
narrow
with that.
the field
It's certainly
down.
a paper trail based on his
Just
letters
dumb.
to her.
But he's like setting up fake companies so that he could buy ricin or thallium, right? And then he's buying wine. That's right. He bought some wine from some fake company so that he could then put the thallium in the wine, and then send it from something. Like, it's all very elaborate, but also fucking dumb at the same time.
But
like, it
not
all
quite,
immediately came back to him.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
That's I feel there's a little bit of a missing.
He should have worn
like
platforms.
all
My mother would have
roads lead
said-
back to Thomas. Yeah.
My mother might have said there's a screw loose there somewhere.
Mhm.
You know, but it just, there's something that doesn't connect in the way he's thinking about what he's doing. Yeah, but I did think it was kind of funny, and when I saw the disguise, I thought, oh, I've got to show him this. You know, coconut.
Their disguise is really
What was
something.
the song, Clarky? Something or other, moon-faced, coconut head and pea or something.
Oh,
What?
hey, Moonhead, Coconut Man, and P. I was Jessie J, or whatever it was. Money, money, money.
Oh,
I
yeah.
need your money, money, money.
Yeah,
I
she's-
never thought of that.
Yeah.
Is it the intro, is it?
Yeah,
It's at the
she
very
said-
start. She goes, hey, Moonhead, Coconut Man, and P.
Don't ask me
I
why.
wonder what that means.
Maybe they're
Dunno.
band members.
Or friends, yeah. But yeah, Coconut Man or Coconut Head. Anyway, I just looked at it and thought,
I think
that's funny.
I think if he had have worn platforms, he would have got away with it, because clearly they caught him when his mum said, "Oh, he was about the same height as my son."
The GP. Also, platforms and like tried a different walk. Went to the Ministry of Silly Walks or something, you know.
Yes.
So it was his everything. They looked at him and was like, okay, take the mask out of the way because you can't
Take the
do
facial hair off.
and facial recognition, but everything is the right build, blah blah blah. Like, he's very like the son, who's also estranged and also is looking for cash, and yeah, it's just so weird.
Did you call him Austrasian? Like a strange Asian?
I meant to say estranged, and the D didn't come out, so I did say
It was
estranged.
Austrasian.
I said estrange, but I meant estranged, and the D just didn't come out. Yeah, stop trying to make me sound like the racist on this call.
Yeah, it's true.
You've both
mean,
done it. Did you say?
I know, I've done
did you
it
say
too.
Chinaman? No, I said
Yeah,
Chinese
sorry.
national.
And I'm the one who came out saying like a racist there. Don't worry. Terrible.
It's all right. I'll cut it all.
Thank you.
I
gonna
do,
be a
I
20
do
minute
like the
episode
idea of
this
Austrasian, though. We have a phrase called, a name called craisins, which is a crazy Asian.
Yeah.
So
I,
Austrasian kind of works well with that too. Could be
I was-
Australian, as an Australian Asian too.
I was in a meeting the other day and someone was talking about resilience, and I turned to someone and said, Brazilians? They didn't understand.
Oh.
Damn it. They don't listen to the
They
podcast.
just looked at me like, what? And I was like, don't worry about it. I giggled to myself, though. Brazilians?
Mhm.
Could you say Craisians? Yeah.
Raisins, like,
Is that crazy rich Asians?
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah.
I saw today, but it was a bit of crazy.
He was a
wasn't it?
crazy rich Asian.
He was a crazy rich
There you go,
Asian.
you've got your name for the
was.
title.
Yes.
Yes.
Title of it, Crazy Rich Asian.
Yes.
Singular.
Yes, he was. I mean, obviously not mega rich, but rich enough. Very wealthy.
Crazy enough for sure, and Asian. So, you know,
And,
the rich
and in
bitch is rich enough.
1990, wasn't it?
Um,
Or was she had a
no,
million in?
she left her husband in 1990 and
sorry,
took
yes.
$1 million out of the account, which
He had
apparently
2
Thomas wasn't
million.
happy about when he was 20 or something. But it was all about removing
Yes, of course.
money because she spent it. So it was all about, you know, money that he no longer had access to or was going to get in the end. What a dickhead.
I have a real problem with people who budget for inheritance, and he sounds like one of them, where
Yeah, I
just, you
know.
know, I'm entitled to inheritance. You're not entitled to anything. Nobody has to give you their money.
No. I'm very grateful that my parents did leave us something, but I always said to Mum, if you want to sell the house and do something else, then do it, while she was
Yep.
alive. She chose not to, but I certainly I never banked on it.
Mm.
And I agree with you. You shouldn't. It's not your money.
Not your money until it's in your hot little hand.
Correct. So sentencing, 31 years, quite a long time.
Yeah.
It's a good sentence
Mm.
from the legal fraternity. I mean, rotting flesh would have been nice for him, I think.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Leprosy.
Bit of necrotizing fasciitis for him. I just wanted to say it again.
You're very good at
You
saying
nailed
it.
it
I practiced
again.
it. I practiced it a
I
bit,
agree.
Especially the fasciitis bit. Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, I think you could have a bit of that. Maybe a snake bite that causes it, because it's very painful too.
He needs to be in like a nursery rhyme where the stepmother is evil, not kind.
A nursery
And-
rhyme, or do you mean like a Grimm brother fable type
Yeah, a
thing?
bit like a Hansel and Gretel
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
one where, instead of popping him in the oven, that he gets some kind of horrible infection.
What's the moral of the story, isn't it? If you're going to be so entitled and think that you're going to get something, you'll get a horrible infection.
Yeah,
That's
like
what you
some people
get.
have real problems, mate.
Yeah.
You're not getting your inheritance fast enough so you can pay off your $2 million home that you've just bought.
Imagine
Not a
if he'd
problem.
succeeded in killing Patrick too. What a horrendous thing. This is the thing about him not being quite all there, because the idea of I'll get rid of Patrick off the scene and then I'll get close to my mum. I mean, not if she finds out that you killed her partner, because, you know what I mean? Like, it's just...
It's foul.
It is foul, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Maybe we dip him in some kind of foul solution, which creates the infection, and then he gets to have a bit of rot.
Is hydrochloric acid too much?
You could start with that, and then you dip him in something like
Lemon juice.
I know. Well, that'd sting.
Golden
Yeah.
staph.
Well, when I was at Ilden recently, I kept walking past my fridge, and there was this really awful smell, and I thought, "Oh, what is that?" And I walked, and so in the end, I got down on all fours and I sniffed the back of the fridge, and sure enough, I thought, "What's in there? It's something in there." So I took a screwdriver and I took the back off the fridge, and it has this drip tray that sits over the motor, and it's for the condensation from within the fridge. And what had happened is, over time, it had meat juice, aka blood, and things like that from the fridge that had got down into this drip tray, and then it got nice and warm, and then it got moist enough so that I was getting, yes, that's right, the smell of decomp coming up. And I was like, oh, it smells like, off meat or something. Anyway, I took it out and I cleaned it. But perhaps we take that, the pre-cleaning.
So it's the right. Make a lotion out of it and then say that it puts the lotion on its
skin,
or else it gets the hose again.
Yes, there we go. So we'll take a bit of fridge juice, stinky fridge juice, and that's the lotion. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, goodness me. Everyone happy with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me on that one. No one died. I always like it when no one actually dies.
Yeah, that was well done.
And
That's a win.
yeah. And on that note, as we say every week, miss you already.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Thanks for listening to Trial by Wine. You can contact us at trialbywine@gmail.com. Please rate, review and subscribe to Trial by Wine on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to support us, you can become a patron at www.patreon.com, Trial by Wine, or visit our website www.trialbywine.com to donate to us. Your support will help us cover many more cases and apply wacky sentences. We really appreciate you listening and hope you tell everyone about us. Our cover art is by John Christo and music is by Beauchamp from pixabay.com.